This is the presentation slide for the demo which I'm gonna give. And as part of this project, which is Globus Auth service, I have created a Django web application which allows users to authorize their Globus account, and we store the tokens, identities info, and scope, all those information in the Django table, which is profile. We store all those information in those profile table, and this is the profile table which I created, which allows to store username, email, institution, primary identity is authenticated, and the tokens is a dictionary. So but we're storing it as a char file. We do JSON dump, and then we can retrieve using JSON load. And these tokens are these bearer tokens which are used to retrieve other resources based on the scope which we allow while authorizing the Globus. And so as part of this, I registered the application with Globus in this link which I got from the Globus documentation, and then I created the project and then created an app named Safcom Vishnu. And after I created with Arizona State University identity, and I got client ID and the client secret from it. So I used this client ID and client secret to authenticate. So after that, like the functions, the URLs or the APIs which I created as part of this application are index page, which is used to output the status of token, profile information, identity information, and there are a couple of actions like to authorize, revoke, and refresh tokens. This auth function, as we can see in the code, these are the URLs which we created. This auth, so this auth function, so we get this client, confidential app auth client. Now this is one of the class which Globus auth provides, and this client we can get using client ID and client secret, which we got after the registering the application. We can get the authorization URL using this method, but before that, as per the documentation, we need to provide the redirect URL, scope, etc. information using this auth to start flow. If we do refresh tokens equal to true, then we can use the refresh token to get the access token. So once we do that, we get the authorization URL, which has all the scope information, redirect URI, etc. Once we get that, it will go to the Globus application where we can authorize. Once we authorize, it will redirect to this auth callback view with the auth code attached to the URL. So we get this auth code from the URL using Python regex, and with this code we can get the token. Ideally, from the documentation, we should use these three functions to get the token from the code, or to exchange code for tokens. But somehow it's not working, which is the challenge which I faced, and I need to explore a bit more on this, why we didn't receive the token from the code. So meanwhile, I found an alternative way to get the tokens from the code, and that is we use this client ID and client secret and do base 64 encode, and this can be used as the header, as you can see, basic authorization. And we do a post call to this auth2/token and type authorization code, and then we provide the code which we got from with the callback URL. Once we do that, in this content we get the token information. After we see the token information, we store that information. We get the access profile information and identity information from this auth client class method auth2 user info. Once we get all the information, we create a profile table object. As you can see here, we create all the information which is required, and we store the tokens in the tokens attribute. Once we receive, we redirect to the landing home page where we show all the information related to the tokens, whether the tokens are active or the actions to do, revoke, refresh, and authenticate. So let me show you the demo. Yes, as you can see, this token which I already created, it's in active state, but if we do revoke, it will be inactive, and then it will show no. As you can see, no. And then if we do refresh token, then it will be yes again. And if we do authenticate, it will go to the Globus page. As you can see, all the client ID information, redirect URI, everything will be there, and we provide the access. Now we will get a code, but that's too quick because it's already we got the callback URL with the code, and that code reached this view, and everything happened so fast that we couldn't see the callback URL on demo. And as you can see, we already tried these two functions, and this is what I have done so far as part of this project demo. And what is the challenge I faced is this one, which already mentioned that we were unable to get the token from the code. Other than that, everything was good. And what needs to be done was, once we got the token, that token which was scope based, like different access tokens we get different access tokens based on the scope which we provide in the Globus, and we can use those tokens to access the resources based on the scope. If we allow the transfer API scope, then we should be able to use the Globus transfer from the token which we get from that scope. So I need to explore a bit more on that, which is not covered in this project. As you can see, I have done to authorize, authenticate, manage the tokens, and store those tokens as part of this project. And these are the reference sites which I've used so far. One thing I would like to show more in this demo is this is the Django shell which we can access. I think we should have so we are not getting identities because we just now re-authenticated. The token would have changed. We need to get the token again. So this is the access token we should get. Use this access token. You can see we can get the identities information. We can do introspectively auth to token. as you can see. And this dependent token somehow it's not working, which I need to check. And this is also what to client credentials tokens. So it says required entity missing, which I need to explore more on this. Thank you for watching the video so far. This is the demo on the Globus Auth service. Thank you.